My name is Joseph Carlson, and this is episode 258 of Gaming with Grief. And this episode is all about Under the Waves, my final review impression of the game. But, before we start all this, just remind you to like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. This hits once a week. I'd really love your comments on YouTube if that's where you enjoy it, or, make sure to subscribe on podcast services and stuff like that. But, I guess, with all that out of the way, we'll get on to the episode. So, you're just looking, the only thing I could find for a launch trailer is the official PlayStation launch trailer. So, sorry, I'm old and bad at this, and so I don't really know how to, get my Steam footage in my review. But, anyway, I had ups and downs with this game, and I gotta say, at the end, I really enjoyed the journey, but it was a tough road to get there. I had some two hard crashes, and because, like I said in my early impressions, because I am, a deep sea diver named Stan. I got my notes in front of me. Everything is slow. You're either in Moon, which is, basically the submersible you're in, or you're literally swimming in a diving suit deep underwater. You have to worry about oxygen. And it was just rough because everything you're doing is slow. And if you have a hard crash and you have to go back to something that you previously did, never a good thing. And I probably would have finished it, a day before I did, because I just had to log out and take a break and play another game. I played a couple matches of Fortnite just to cleanse the palate, and it was just really upsetting to go through this emotional journey with Stan and Emma and Pearl, the daughter of Emma and Stan, and just have to start over and it was big sections too of redoing big missions. There is a choice in the ending of this. I didn't watch the other decision on YouTube, but I made the choice. You basically have the choice to stay with your daughter because you basically, like I said in my early impressions, you and Emma, your wife, are dealing with the death of your daughter, Pearl. It sounds like, from what I played, if I inferred everything correctly, she died from a car wreck. And you blame yourself, so you took this job underwater, part of Unitrench, to basically run away in a way and hide, I think, from your feelings, and Emma, your wife. I will say that I don't know. I think there was some really good sections about, at first Stan tries to run from his feelings. Why am I feeling the way I do? Why am I grappling with these emotions? And at the end, he comes away with some really good lines, which I wrote down. At first he complains about being normal, moving on. He keeps saying "get it together" because he hallucinates and sees a ghostly form of Pearl under the water that follows him in whatever he's doing. And, this just weighs heavy upon his soul, which, makes sense. And I thought, oh no, this is not, if this is where it's going to go, I don't know if I like this, but there's two lines he says to his, kind of himself. I remember right towards the end, he said, this will never stop hurting. And he says, life is a long series of partings. But he kind of comes to the conclusion at the end, a little voiceover that says, Pearl will always be a part of me, and I need to move on. She won't ever go away. And I think that is a great sentiment. There's a lot of good, heartfelt moments. You try to reconcile with your wife through a phone call. It's 1979 and you're underwater, so there's these weird futuristic things going on. I didn't really look at the logs and see the time, but I did notice that it was, it was the last log that I found was oh, it's 1979. I probably should have keyed onto that sooner. That's all to say. I think the game ended up in a really good place. There is a lot of extracurricular stuff to do in this game. You can take photos. of animals collect trash, which, they work with, I think, I want to say the Surfrider Institute of Europe. I believe that's the name of the company. And so there is this idea of ecology. And you work for an oil company, Unitrench, and there's leaking oil pipes all over, which makes you reflect on that. And at the end, there's kind of a storm that leads to a catastrophe. You and Tim, the kind of man in the chair, kind of deal with that. I mean, to me, that is kind of secondary to the idea that, I mean, it is not lost in me that Stan is literally he's putting pressure on himself. He's under the water. He's literally under the waves. I've always said that one phrase that always sticks with me is, grief does come in waves, at least for me. And, none of that is lost on me. I think, whenever I talk about this, I try to say if the game said something profound or articulated kind of a new something new about grief or had a new perspective. And I don't know if Under the Waves really did, but I think it is a told story that does say something positive about grief. Again, I didn't watch the other ending. You can stay with Pearl underwater, and I don't know what that means for the rest of the game. Um, and I guess, at the end, before the credits roll, it says, this is in memory of all the people we have lost. So that was a really nice touch. But, I uh, I don't know, like I said, if this game said something so unique about death that I would recommend immediately playing this game. I will say, on a general note, usually I don't do controls and stuff like that. The music is pretty amazing. I actually couldn't find. I was, if I was better at my job, I would find who did the music for this game. Also, there are some puzzle elements, which, again, I don't usually talk about stuff like this, but when you really want to focus on Stan's feelings and interacting with Emma and, dealing with the death of his daughter Pearl, I don't want to solve a puzzle of a turbine. And luckily, since I play old games, I just looked all that stuff up. So, at the end, was it, like the most articulate, amazing thing to say about grief? No. But I think it ended in a good place. And if you can go through it, again, in my early impressions, I said that this game is very slow. You're underwater. If you're in a good place and you're in a nice, relaxing place, and you want to play kind of even if you just want to ignore, I guess, the aspects of grief, which it is the story, but like you could do the ecology stuff. I thought that was really good. I would recommend. Normally, this is like $30, I think, on Steam. It's available on other platforms. I think I got it on sale for $15 or something like that. I definitely recommend that. But I don't want to shade the developers or anything, or say this is terrible. It was a well-made game. The art style looks very distinct. It looks kind of like a painted, not cell shaded, but like very watercolored. And the dialogue and stuff is all kind of like it's like a half of frame off from their mouth doesn't move really with what they're saying, but I think it's all style. I do appreciate too, as an aside, that one of the missions you have to do at the beginning of every day is get a cup of coffee. Just want to say, in the very last mission, I did that, and then it said, "Oh, you got to go answer this phone call." I answered the phone call, and then it says, you should probably make some coffee." And I'd already had a cup of coffee, and I just appreciate the game recognizing that that's probably, in real life, I think that is the amount of cups of coffee that I had at that moment. So, coffee's great. Anyway, listen, Under the Waves is a very good game. If you want to if you're not really that familiar with grief or dying, I think this says some good stuff. But it is stuff I've heard before. But it is in a stylized way that a lot of other people won't show you. Not a lot of games are about people under, the weight of the ocean and trying to make sure that oil spills are cleaned up. So the team did a great job. The look and whatever, and like I said, they said good things about grief, maybe not new things about grief, but I definitely just recommend the game. So I think that's it. I think, I've said all I need to say. I kind of looked over my notes. Um, you know, I'm trying to get any last things. play it if you can, and it's affordable to you. It might be on a, I didn't check to see if it's on Game Pass, but it might be on PlayStation Plus, or maybe wait till it hits those services. So I think that's it this week. I will talk to everybody next week.